So talk about how you feel about the female body in dance.
How do I feel about it?
You know what I mean?
Like again, I don't have that cast, but I do have preferences also. I always say to my dancer, you need to look the best you can. So that means that, for example, let's take individual my company, so it's very clear.
Right.
That means that, for example, Sujin and Ebony, let's talk about those two, because they're extremely different. I would not expect Ebony to look like Sujin, because it can, it can be unless it's unhealthy, and it's not going to happen with me. And I'm truly, truly, sincerely saying this. I always say to my dancer, you need to look the best you can with what you have.
Right. You
So
look
that
you, the best you.
Of you. That means that if you have muscular thigh, I'm not expecting you to lose those muscular thigh, but I need you to actually, they need to look the best muscular thigh for you.
Right.
You understand?
Everything needs to be working.
Exactly. And when I see Kristen who was right there, Kristen, very muscular. I celebrated her body because to me, it was a really an acknowledgement to everyone that I do like this body, but I do like Sujin, I do like Akesha, I do like Navara, etc. For me, female bodies don't come in one shape. I mean, in 2013, let's be real. I mean, it's not a ballet company. I'm not doing Swan Lake again. So there is a certain thing that they are into. I have the chance to not have to do that.
Right. So what about the male body?
Male body, it's a little bit, for me, I expect them to partner. So when you have 5'10", 5'11", Ebony, you have to partner. And I expect that she get partners. So I need people who can do that. But Oscar Ramos, who is 5'10", who is a bit smaller than Ebony, can partner.
Right.
So it's not about the size.
Right.
It's about the strength. I expect my men to be strong.
Right.
I like strong.
But so basically, there's a sort of equality across the board. I mean, your job is your job. Like, as a man, you are going to be expected to partner. But now in contemporary work, women are expected to partner as well.
Absolutely.
So it's just, so you think contemporary dance actually has equality of the body in it.
And there is as well, you said, I will partner woman with woman, man with man. So you're right, everybody needs to actually have an understanding of partnering, but it's beyond the body. I don't believe that because you're taller than your partner, you can be partnered.
Right.
Actually, I love differentiation, like extreme, like I'm tall with a small
contrast.
Contrast,
exactly. It's kind of freaky. Do you think that the body in contemporary dance, that the body has changed, or just the way that we use the body and look at the body? I mean, in its extremity, we see now extremely flexible, ganky. Clifton calls it creature dancing, which I love. It is almost like, it can go into creature, double feature sort of thing, which is interesting, but you go like, well, you know, only a certain body can do that, because if you don't have that sort of thing, who else can do that?
Yeah.
So do you think that contemporary dance has changed the way we deal with the body, or do you think that the actual bodies have changed? I mean, it's probably a little bit of both.
It's actually, it's true that I would say, in my time, people could not, I know that 15 years ago, before my time, they would say the same thing. So I guess the human body actually evolves.
Right.
To creature, maybe, like Clifton would say. You're right. But do we encourage that? Do we encourage the freakish kind of...
Right.
Do we have to do that? To me, it gets old. And I like to as well have human beings that you can relate to, except they may be enhanced, they have technique, they can express themselves without talking, and it's not how high or hyperextended your legs are. Actually, if you know, hyperextension is a sign of weakness. And that's the first thing I said, because people say, oh, my legs are hyperextended, but that's sign of weakness.
And it's really high. It's so much effort to be able to use them, especially if you're hyperextended. Well, if you're hyperextended and you don't have a foot, you're jacked because that's just a. But then if you're hyperextended and you have the foot, then it's extra. You really have to pull yourself together to make that work. So I think it's an interesting thing that we're going to have to deal with in the future because the bodies are getting more extreme, but also the injuries are getting more extreme because we're using the body in that we're asking more from the body in ways that don't have any pathways. Like in ballet, like there's linear sort of movement that your hip bones and there are ways that your body is supposed to move. And now we're starting to do other things inside the body.
And it's interesting you say that because I say as well, we're not in 1930s when we thought the first position was kind of completely like this. We know better. So somehow we do have better knowledge of how the body functions, but in a certain way, we encourage the extremities so that it is so we know that a perfect turn, there is no perfect turnout. You have your turnout, I have my turnout.
Right, you know, and working within it is the healthiest.
Exactly.
But we'll go,
exactly.
and then everybody goes, and it's like,